Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome to Friday's edition of Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice winner of the 2024 Best of the Tri-State. Not to be an alarmist, but it is Friday the 13th.
I'm not worried about that.
I know you're not.
I'm not a superstitious person at all. The only thing I even get close to occasionally is I'll do the knock on wood, but not because I actually believe anything about it. But.
Oh, yeah, I do the knock on wood. I do the salt over my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I do? Yeah, I'm pretty superstitious.
Yeah.
I think so. I do believe
it doesn't surprise me about you.
I think things do happen in threes. Sorry, thank you.
Okay, they do, yeah.
And so that's something else I'm pretty superstitious about. But today is sunny skies, high 37. Tomorrow, a complete repeat of today. And then sunny, no, I lied. On Sunday, cloudy and rainy and a high of 40. That's what your forecast is looking like for the weekend. Couple notable birthdays today. Dick Van Dyke is 99.
I love Dick Van Dyke.
I do too. And I still love the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh, he's great.
All these years later. And happy birthday to Taylor Swift. T-Swizz, 35.
And it's on the 13th. Well, obviously it's her favorite number.
That's
why it's her favorite number. And it's a Friday. For her, I'm sure, a very, very lucky number.
Yes, and she just wrapped up her Eras Tour, bringing in over $2 billion. And I was very lucky to have one small seat at that Eras Tour.
A very small little.
It was a very small.
Bitty.
I was just a little blip in the radar, but I was there and I saw it.
And she remembers you. She told me. So
I'm sure she did. Steve Buscemi is 67. 67. Oh, my goodness. And we have 12 days until Christmas. 18 days until the ball drops.
It's beginning.
And it's 2025.
Christmas.
And today is National Cocoa Day.
Naturally.
Some things about chocolate that you might find interesting. Chocolate contains over 600 flavor compounds, which gives it a very distinct aroma.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite places to drive is through Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, heck yeah.
Put the windows, as soon as you hit Hershey, windows down, all you smell is chocolate. It's such a lovely smell.
And they have it pumping through every building there.
It's amazing. There are 4 different types of chocolate: dark, milk, white, and blonde chocolates. I don't know anything about that one.
Well, I would love to try blonde chocolate.
White chocolate isn't technically chocolate. It contains cocoa butter, but doesn't contain any cocoa powder or cocoa solids. Mm-hmm. The chocolate industry is worth over $75 billion per year globally.
And Hershey gets their share of that, baby.
Yes, they do. And there's a lot of caffeine in chocolate. Dark chocolate contains 12 milligrams of caffeine per ounce. Milk chocolate contains 9 milligrams, which is higher than espresso's caffeine count. On top of that, it's also National Ice Cream Day.
Of course.
So it would be a nice pairing,
nice pairing?
An ice pairing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm surprised you didn't scream that.
I'm scooping up what you're putting down, like ice cream scoops.
Well, you're the one with the scoop. You're the one who reads the news. You've got the scoop.
A couple things about ice cream.
And there's no topping that.
Oh, very good, buddy. Dairy, good job. Utterly fantastic.
Sometimes
we're just milking it for all we got right now.
Now you're just fudging it.
It was back in 1846 that ice cream, the maker, was patented. Nancy Johnson invents and patents the first hand-cranked ice cream maker.
Thank goodness you did that, because I wouldn't have had any idea what hand crank was.
See, and this is another reason why you need to stream it on
you should
YouTube
be watching
so that you can see these things, just in case you weren't sure what a hand crank is.
Yep.
I mean, it's...
Basically, Katie's doing the Arsenio Hall.
And this I thought was interesting. In 1978, let's talk about Ben & Jerry's for a second. Ben took a $5 course on ice cream making and opened the first Ben & Jerry's in a Burlington gas station.
I'd say it paid off.
$5, and now we have Ben & Jerry's.
Right?
Fish food is just, oh my gosh. Ben & Jerry's fish food is just unbelievable.
Never tried it.
Are you serious?
Well, I don't eat regular ice cream.
Sure. Well, that would be like it's a special day. You want to treat yourself.
Okay.
I'm
not saying I wouldn't try it. I'm just saying I haven't.
It's unbelievable. Have you ever had Ben & Jerry's ice cream?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember which one I had, but yes,
well, fish food is the most popular.
Okay.
And it is the best.
I think I've had the Tonight Dough.
The Jimmy Fallon one?
Yeah.
I mean, fish food is the best, in my opinion. Try it out sometime. Just get
Okay.
it and just casually eat it here and there. You'll be hooked. Let's talk about.
Like fish food.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even.
Well, you are not on your game for
No,
puns today.
I'm really not.
You're not, yeah.
Really?
I got it. It was a good line.
Okay. Let's talk about this day in history.
Don't try to lure me in with stuff.
It was 46 years ago in 78 that the Philadelphia Mint began stamping the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the first coin to honor a woman. It was taken out of circulation quickly because it was too easily mistaken
For a quarter?
for a quarter. It was 45 years ago, Jack Frost, the holiday special, aired for the very first time. And 39 years ago, one of my all-time favorite movies, Clue, was released.
Oh, okay.
Had 3 different endings. On the DVD, you got them all, but at the theaters, you'd only get one. So newspapers advertised which ending was playing where, so
I
that you
didn't
could
know
go
that.
and see all 3.
Awesome.
Have you
That's
ever
a good idea.
Have you ever seen Clue?
If I have, I don't remember it.
So you need to have a Clue night with fish food, is what I'm hearing right now.
I mean, now we know what Katie's life was like.
I love the movie Clue. That's one of those movies I can watch anytime, any day,
Okay.
and it always makes me laugh. I absolutely love that movie. It was 28 years ago that Jerry Maguire was released.
Wow. Show me the money!
No, you had me from Hello.
Whoa.
You had me from Hello.
Which inspired the Kenny Chesney hit. You had me.
Which makes sense because he was married for 28 minutes to Renee Zellweger.
Well, there you go.
How long was that marriage?
Oh, goodness. A couple days?
It was a few days, wasn't it?
Not even as long as honeymoon.
And it was 14 years ago in 2010, a 2,400-year-old pot of soup was unearthed in China. That sounds super.
Wow.
I don't even know.
Easy.
I don't even know how you would know that's what it is.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's what's going on today. December.
I mean, here's someone is just ramen around, and they find soup that's thousands of years old in China. I mean, what are the odds of that?
I have nothing for that one. I already used my super joke.
I was just using my noodle.
I'll catch you ladle on that one. Soup ladle, a bit of a stretch.
That's a little bit.
All right,
yeah.
let's go ahead and put a pin in this for right now and check in with the good word of the day.
Well, hey everybody, I'm Pastor Laura Kincaid of Messiah United Methodist Church in Shippensburg, and let me tell you, we've got some excitement at the church this weekend. We are celebrating our 100th anniversary. That's right, 100 years we've been here. Have you seen our beautiful historic building in downtown Shippensburg? Let me tell you, our stained glass windows will knock your socks off. But even as we celebrate this beautiful building, we know that the church isn't a building. The church is the people. Have you ever stopped to think what a miracle that is? I mean, there's this trend that I see in our culture today, a trend that is more and more anti-people, right? We don't trust other people. Other people make us uncomfortable, so we try to just keep to ourselves. And social media allows us to only connect to people that we like, only people that think just the way I do. We're being taught to be okay with saying, you know what, I like my dog better than I like people. Well, of course you do. Your dog or your cat or your goldfish, they're not going to challenge you. They're not going to argue with you about what TV show to watch, or there's no danger they're going to vote for the candidate you don't like. They're not going to make you really think about the things that you say. Your pets have no choice but to let you be in control. And that's why people are so great, because other people make me see things that I might not see on my own. They pull me out of myself. They make me learn the real work of peacemaking, of being kind, of working out our differences. Other people force me to be unselfish. So every time you see a church, it's not just a building with stained glass windows and a bunch of hypocritical people. No, what you see in a church is a miracle. A church is a miracle of flawed, selfish, opinionated human beings who somehow set aside their flawed, selfish opinions and work together to create a community of love and generosity and openness and devotion to God that welcomes all people. And this is something that's been passed down from generation to generation, in our case for over 100 years. That's a miracle. And so that's what we're celebrating this weekend. And if you're able to, please join us for our worship service. It will be at 9 a.m. at our beautiful church at 30 South Penn Street that's filled with beautiful people. We also have a free concert at 2 o'clock with all our very talented musicians. And there will also be childcare and activities for kids during that concert. Our services are also posted on YouTube and Facebook. But wherever you are and whatever you're going through, just know you are precious to God and you are precious to us. So we hope to see you here at Messiah United Methodist Church.
News is all powered by Veritas Men's Health in Hagerstown. They do have telehealth available. You can find them online at veritasmenshealth.com. Now, as winter approaches, because the 21st is officially the first day of winter, the National Weather Service is encouraging residents to prepare for the season's challenges during Maryland Winter Safety Awareness Week that runs the 10th through the 16th. Among topics covered are protecting pets, pipes and plants, so all the P's there, understanding weather alerts, and preparing emergency kits for home and car.
So prepare the pets, pipes, and plants.
Prepare the pets, pipes, and plants. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
And protect them.
Protect
and prepare the pets, pipes, and plants.
And the Peter Piper and the pickle peppers.
I know one thing I always have on hand is a jug of water. I always have a jug of water somewhere stashed in my house in case something happens. That's as far as I've gotten in my emergency kit.
Well, we have...
and flashlights.
5-gallon buckets. And I usually have 2 of those at any given time, just in the basement, just in case. You never know.
Right.
And blankets. We don't actually need to prepare blankets because Mary
you have so many
is
soft
a
blankets.
blanket hog.
I know.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And not that this will ever save our lives, but she's prepared until rapture with mugs, coffee mugs.
Oh, I think I am too.
Oh, I think every woman, it's a requisite that you have coffee mugs and blankets.
I think it's because it is the easiest gift to give somebody. Everybody, mugs, I can definitely live without. But part of that is because...
Except for this one.
I do. This is my favorite one. But part of that is because when I was a teacher, that's what the kids gave you all the time for Christmas presents.
Right.
Mug after mug after mug. And I really wanted to keep all of them, but
what are you going to do?
And the only mug I ever use is this. I don't use coffee mugs. I use this guy because I'm always on the go. But blankets, you can never turn down a nice, soft, warm blanket. They're always a good gift to give somebody.
Yeah, I got you. Well, the Greencastle Police Department, this is an incredible story. And wow, how someone does this, I don't understand. The Greencastle PD has filed embezzlement charges against Krista Muir, 55, of Greencastle, the former treasurer of Moss Spring Pool, after a detailed investigation into allegations of financial misconduct. Police allege that over a 7-year period, Ms. Muir embezzled nearly $150,000 in public funds.
Whoa.
That's, I would be, well, first of all, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
But I would just be so scared to even, like, if I were at a yard sale and we were selling some of your items with ours, and someone, gave me $1 for one of your items and put it in my pocket, and I realized, oh, I didn't give you your $1, I'd be like, make every attempt. I got to get this back to her as soon as possible, let alone all this money.
I know.
My goodness, I can't imagine.
I'm the same way. That is a crazy story.
It is.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
With us today, again, we have Dan Dodona from localnews1.org going through all things tri-state and happening in our community. So I'm going to let you take over. Are we going to start with the 5 things for the weekend?
Things.
All right. What do we have going on this weekend?
You'll probably be amazed and astounded that it's mostly about Christmas.
I know the bridge is on Sunday. The mill.
That's one of the top
I'm drawing
5.
a blank on the first word, but yes, I know that opens up on Sunday.
Yeah, over in Greencastle. Martin's Mill Bridge.
Martin's Mill, thank you.
There you go.
Yes, yep.
Well, let's go through them in order. First of all, over in Waynesboro, they are going to be, remember that cocoa crawl we talked about last week over in Chambersburg? Well, it crawled its way down to Waynesboro.
It's a long crawl.
And it's going to be taking place today, actually, from 5 to 8 p.m., and it'll be continuing in other weekends in the future. You can, for $10, you get a wristband, you get a mug, and you get a map to navigate to all the different businesses all up and down Main Street in Waynesboro. And you can sample a variety of different hot cocoa flavors, dark chocolate, peanut butter cup, and salted caramel.
It's a good price too. $10.
That's not bad.
Really?
For a lot of if you're a hot cocoa fan, this is the place to be. So that's today. Over in Hagerstown in University Plaza, they're going to have Christkindl Market.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this goes back to a 12th century tradition from back in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of folks who have actually been in a service and been assigned to Germany during the Christmas holidays, you probably recognize this. They bring in just dozens and dozens of artisans and vendors to share their Christmas wares. Families are, at this particular one downtown, are going to have a kids zone with crafts for everybody. They're going to have live music throughout the day. Santa Claus, surprisingly, has found time on his schedule to come by and make an appearance. And there should be just hundreds of people down there.
Mm-hmm.
These are really big deals and,
Yes,
and a lot of fun.
We had the ladies who were organizing it on the show earlier this week, and one of the ladies is from Germany.
Okay.
And so she really knows a lot about the origin of it, and I think they're doing a really nice job to mimic it.
Well, it's a big deal over there, and it's a lot of fun when you go. At the Blue Ridge Free Summit Free Library, they're going to be having a free activity. It'll include fire truck rides, another visit from Santa, and a bird feeder craft exercise for children. You can enjoy live music by Rich Feely, holiday treats, cookies, and cider. They're going to have a special tree that's going to feature Brandywine Critters ornaments made by the late Roberta Dominic. They'll have a memorial tree lighting, and the Blue Ridge Summit Stitchers Quilting Group they're going to be announcing the winner of their quilt raffle.
I like the name. I like that name. It's cute.
And also on Sunday, we're talking about Martin's Mill. Mm-hmm. On Sunday between 4:30 and 7:30, if you've never had an opportunity, you should go out and look. There's pictures of what the mill looks like when they light it up for Christmas, and it is just absolutely magnificent. It's covered with lights, beautiful. Well, anyway, they're going to have drive-through events from 4:30 to 7:30. That will feature decorations, music, hot chocolate. Mrs. Claus is going to be joining Mr. Claus on this one, and they're going to be there'll be photographs available. What's special about this year is it's their 175th anniversary.
Wow.
for that bridge. It's been around for a long time.
I'm going to that on Sunday, and I don't know if this makes me a loser or not, but I am taking my cat, and she's very well trained. So I'm going to put the harness on her, and she has a sweater that says Santa Paws, and I'm going to take her to the bridge, and we're going to get a photo with Santa on Sunday.
I hope my wife doesn't see that. She'll take our dog, and she'll have all kinds of stuff.
I think dogs are pretty normal. Cats are a little different, but she's a really good one. And so I tried it out today. I put the harness on, and then I put the sweater on. And
she bought it. Huh?
Oh, she's fine.
Really?
Yeah, she's a really good animal.
A cat that buys into, okay.
Yep, so we're going to get our photos with Santa on Sunday.
Also on Sunday, the celebration of trees. This one's kind of interesting. It's going to be over in Williamsport, Maryland, from 3 to 9 on Sunday. They're going to have over 150 trees decorated by families and organizations from all around the area. I mean, you see Christmas decorations all the time, but 150 trees at the same time, all decorated. This should really be interesting.
And it's a free event.
And it's free.
I love that.
And it's free. There'll be light displays. Santa will also be there. There'll be light displays, wagon rides, and they will be accepting donations because they like to put these things on and help defray the cost. So those are the primary 5 things. Let me touch on 2 others, though, that didn't make the big 5.
I have one, too. Well, you go. Maybe you're going to say the one I was going to say.
Well, in Chambersburg, they are having a Deck the Town competition. There's 23 different if you've ever driven, almost everybody, I guess, gets in a car and drives around some of the streets that got all kinds of decorations. In some places, they just go nuts. I mean, they have the orchestrated lights and everything going every which way, and they're beautiful. Well, apparently there's 23 different properties over there that are in this competition. Oh. Too many to mention. There's a list in localnews1.org if you want to take a look at that. There is also a Trail of Lights that's taking place out at County Creek Produce Farm.
Yeah.
It's about 2 miles off 581 exit 10, and it's open weekends through the 31st of December. Was that either of the ones?
No, but I want to add that they have a Ferris wheel too at Country Creek Produce Farm.
Oh, cool.
And so you can ride the Ferris wheel. It's like $3. It's a really magical place. The other thing I wanted to say was the Capitol Theater, the Chambersburg Ballet is putting on the Nutcracker this weekend.
Yes.
So there's 2 showings on Saturday, I believe 3 and 7, and I believe I'm going to the Sunday show at 3. I don't know if there's a second one as well, but that looks like it's going to be a really, really good rendition of it. So that was another thing.
It should be.
Yes.
So, some of that stuff, you really have to go see it to believe just how beautiful and how it's not like movies.
And
movies are nice, but
they have
live
over
performances are just amazing.
40 dancers, they said, over 40 dancers, and so I'm very much looking forward to the event.
Okay. 'Tis the season, but it is also not only for the holidays, it's also the season. I guess most folks know that when big organizations, or smaller organizations for that matter, are getting ready to decide what they want to do for the following year, they put together a budget. Well, in that budget is all kinds of things, especially the really expensive things. And everybody around here has been very, very busy, and they're all getting ready to start their next fiscal year on the 1st of January. Franklin County the Franklin County commissioners have been setting goals for bridges. Apparently, they've got quite a few old ones around. They replaced 2 during 2024 on Leafmore Road and on Hickory Run Road. There are more planned. As a matter of fact, a total of 11. 3 more are supposed to be replaced or repaired during 2025, and they have a total of 11 that they have scheduled to be addressed through 2034. And the reason it takes so long, bridges are extraordinarily expensive to replace. You don't think much about them. And you don't have to think Golden Gate Bridge here. All you have to think of is you're driving through the country, and there's a sizable little stream coming through, and it goes underneath. Well, something will stand up for 30, 40, 50 years and take the water flowing through it and all the silt and everything else, and also carry all the traffic over top of it. They tend to be expensive. It's an interesting little engineering feat that each one of them pulls off. Well, anyway, that's why they have to start planning so many years in advance. They have to get an assessment, and it's if you have bad bridges and you look in your township or boroughs or county's budget and they don't have something set aside to see to it that these things are being looked at periodically, it's one of the things you should probably ask them, what are you doing about this? Because it's, where else are you going to get the money if you don't get grants and spread it out over a long period of time?
And Tiny and I we were talking about this the other day. We were so surprised how many bridges there are in the area. There's a ton. Yes.
It's huge. Well, it's one of the characteristics of the eastern United States. The river system is just amazing. Washington County Commissioners are having a meeting on Monday. They have about $3.4 million of ARPA money, American Relief Act. They're thinking about. They're going to talk about it. They're thinking about putting $3 million into further enhancements for police, fire, and EMS training center, so that all those services that have actually been winning awards lately will continue to remain sharp into the future.
Great.
And they got another $434,000 that they want to put into inclusive park equipment. My daughter doesn't like me to use the word handicap, so I won't use that word. I didn't actually say that, but. Some folks need a little more help. They can't. They really can't take advantage of parks with dirt or with mulch thrown in the bottom, and they need special kinds of equipment, especially if they're in a wheelchair or something. So and they want to participate. So these things are extraordinarily expensive. It's very nice that they're thinking about making things like that available. And they're also taking a look at their strategic plan, which is where a lot of these ideas are going to sit for a while they decide exactly how they're going to get around to paying for them. Hagerstown has been extraordinarily busy. They've been looking at accepting road extensions. These things go almost unnoticed, but in Hagerstown, they're looking forward to development. Well, a lot of contractors come in and they'll build a road, but the contractor or whoever the development is, they still own it. Well, so unlike municipal roads, the people who are responsible for clearing the snow and repairing it and whatnot, they get stuck with that bill. They like it a whole lot if the municipality takes that on. Well, the municipality, in this case Hagerstown, is interested in taking on these couple of roads because they're looking forward to further development, bringing in more businesses and more jobs for the area, keeping people employed. The airport business park is also being looked at for an extension. They're talking about bringing water and waste services to 16 acres of land out there at the business park. That'll run around the current guess, and it's really just a guess, anywhere from $8 to $10 million to do that.
Ooh, that's a big number.
But the deal is like this: if you've got land and you want to develop it and you want to bring in businesses, you make yourself look more attractive to businesses who are thinking about relocating to your area or your city by seeing to it that they can move into land that's already got some of the essentials like water and sewer and if you get electric in there, if they need gas, but you need to put these things in. Otherwise, you don't look all that attractive. There's other people already broke the code on this, so they're doing it and they're trying to look as attractive as they can as well to take care of their citizens and bring more people in and jobs. So that's happening there. A third thing, and this is really kind of an emerging story. There's apparently some discussion of having an anti-camping ordinance in public properties in the downtown area.
In Hagerstown.
In Hagerstown. Now, so far, as best we can figure out, this is a proposal by the police for consideration by the leadership. But the question that they raise is so these are supposed to be public parks. You're supposed to be able to actually maneuver through them, but there
are some people that set up shop there.
Yeah, and of course the flip side of that argument is, well, what are you doing about taking care of those people? Because you certainly don't want them out in a field someplace without any services available to them. So anyway, that's coming up for discussion. And in Washington Township, we mentioned a few weeks ago that they were talking about developing a solar ordinance, where more work on that is going to be taking place this coming week. In Greencastle, not an economic development thing, but an economic thing nonetheless, the former treasurer of the Moss Spring Pool
I did read about this.
Was charged with embezzling about $150,000.
Yes.
Lady's name is Christy Murr, M-U-R-R. And she did it. You really shouldn't be thinking yachts or big retirement homes or anything like that. She did this over 7 years.
I was going to say that it was over the course of. I thought it was 7 years.
Yeah. Which of course begs other questions about who was paying attention to.
Well, and I think I read, and I could be wrong, but I think she was previously employed by a bank, and so there were questions raised about, was this happening at a previous employment? Maybe just didn't notice.
How did she get so good at it? Right,
yeah. Raises a lot of questions.
Shifting a little bit, there's a young fellow over in Waynesboro named Elijah Miller. He's an interesting case. He's apparently, among other things, he's a power lifter. And he competes in the 165 class. He's apparently got quite a few championships in the state of Pennsylvania for his efforts. Well, he went to he is now a world weightlifting champ.
Wow.
He went out to Las Vegas for a competition in the International Powerlifting League, competed in the 165 class, and there were about 500 competitors out there, so it was a pretty big deal. He was somewhat surprised when he had some injuries. He was struggling. He wasn't actually achieving everything that he thought he ought to be achieving. So he really didn't think he had much of a chance. So they named number 3, they named number 2, and then they named him. And he was probably the most surprised guy in the place. But that's
where is he from? Greencastle?
Waynesboro.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is really incredible.
And he plays baseball. He's on the baseball team in high school. He's a high school kid.
It's quite impressive.
Yeah. A number of medical things. UPMC recorded their 1,000th AFib procedure.
Oh, wow.
Apparently these things take an hour to 2 hours. You're out the next day.
Oh, I thought it was much more extensive than that.
Anyway, they've done 1,000 of them. They're pretty amazed at how fast they've been able to do them and how successful they've been. WellSpan in Chambersburg is one of 3 hospitals.
Yes, they got a big award.
That were named by U.S. News and World Report for being providing top maternity care in the country. Let's see, what else we got here? Chambersburg Summit Health Foundation is going to be providing awards for $450,000 to enhance health care. That'll be split apparently between the Chambersburg Hospital and the Waynesboro Hospital. The things they're looking at is they want to put in a new device for endoscopy procedures. Apparently that it's going to help them for people who have internal bleeding in the central body. They're also getting a monitor to prevent nerve damage when they're performing ENT head or neck procedures on patients. And probably the most interesting one, they're also buying infant CPR kits. You don't think about it, but adult size could pretty much swallow a small kid. Well, they're buying all that, and they get all their money from generous donors who contribute to the foundation. I'm sure they have a lot of their money invested as well. So, but that's a pretty interesting story.
How do you feel about maybe one or two more before we wrap up today? Is that
sure.
okay? All right, perfect.
As it turns out, I've got two more to go.
Perfect.
Dr. Pega Zare from over in Meritus offered some thoughts on preventive heart care. She mentioned a couple interesting things. I had not ever thought of olive oil, but she says you should have olive oil, nuts. You should do less red meat, and less dairy. She says fish and chicken is good.
Mm-hmm. Lots of protein.
And she had the standard advice about you should get your heart rate up at least 20 to 30 minutes, 5 days a week, just to make sure it's
still going strong.
Yeah. And last, and probably the most important item for the entire week, fishing licenses, permits, and gift vouchers are now available from the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. They cost $27.97 for an annual. Yeah. And if you're a senior, they go for $14.47.
Very affordable. Yeah. A really good deal.
Oh.
I am hooked on that price.
That hurts.
And then on that note, and where can we find all of the stories if somebody missed one or wanted to read more online at?
Go online at localnews1.org.
Thank you so much, Dan, and Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
News is all powered by the DRB Group, the right partner for your real estate development. Frostburg State University, where I got my master's.
So wait a minute. Last news check, you were talking about preparing for the freezing temperatures. Mm-hmm. Now you're talking about Frostburg.
Ah, look at how that
is
all
there a
comes.
theme here?
Yes, and okay. I did that on purpose,
Gotcha.
Obviously. They have been recognized by the All-In Campus Democracy Challenge for 2024. All-In recognizes colleges and universities for outstanding efforts to increase nonpartisan student voter participation. I went to Frostburg for my master's, so I was excited. But I did their satellite campus, but still I went up there for the graduation. Sure, so It's nice to see them being recognized for this.
And how many papers did I write for them?
0. Edited. A lot.
Okay.
Hundreds.
Okay.
Written,
good.
0.
All right. Well, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners set strategic goals when establishing an infrastructure management plan for county-owned bridges. They're making steady progress with 2 replacement bridges opened this year, 3 more in the planning stages, and 8 more by 2034. They also have been able to attract federal dollars to help with bridge costs. You almost don't even realize there's that many bridges in our area.
I know.
There's a ton, including the Martins Mill Bridge, which tomorrow is when they light that thing up as a Christmas.
I thought it was Sunday.
Is it Sunday? I thought it was Saturday. This weekend, Martins Mill Bridge, Antrim Township Park in that area, access through Weaver Road. I can't wait for that. I'm looking so forward to it.
I'm looking forward to that as well.
It's going to be magical. I hope it's Saturday because Sunday is supposed to rain.
Okay, I'm going to take Winnie. I'm going to put her, my cat, I'm going to put her in her Santa sweater. We're going to go for a little...
It says Winnie Wonderland?
It actually says Santa Paws, but
okay. Well,
we're going to put her in the car. We're going to go over the bridge, and off we go. Very
Winnie
much
Claus.
Looking forward to that.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Joining us on Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice. We have 2 Bobs. Not really Bobs, but we have Blake Truman, who is our general manager, and we also have Crazy Bob from 101.5 Bob Rocks. And they are here to talk about an awesome event that we have coming up on the 20th of this month. It's the 16th annual the day before Christmas spectacular. Crazy Bob, let's start with you because I know that back when 16 years ago, which doesn't seem like it's possible to have been
Seems
that
like
long.
yesterday.
Yeah, you had this idea. So I want you to take us through the very beginning, the genesis of this, and what your thought was, and what it turned into that first year.
You know, let me even go back further. I am a huge fan of radio. I've always been a huge fan of radio. Growing up, just listening to I could sit next to the window. I remember sitting next to the window at home and just listening to the radio. But I also remember all of the old TV programs about radio. And I love technology. I love how things, work and stuff. But I always remember seeing the old black and white videos of old radio shows. And those radio shows, whether it be, what was it called? The Dark something. The Phantom or something like that. These radio serials.
Right.
And also they had these big radio programs where they actually had an in-house band. They had a narrator. They would do the commercials live and just this whole live atmosphere. And I thought even with today, with all of our technology, let's go back in time and do this crazy kind of recapture that old-time radio thing. And I brought it up to Blake, who was also around back then. He was a lot younger.
Yes.
We all.
And he said, okay, well, let's try to put it together and, we can do it for charity. That was the big thing. We were able to do it for charity. And, we kind of pulled it off what we could. I mean, obviously we don't have a big giant sound stage and like a 20-piece orchestra, but we do have the staff and everybody here. And we all decided to write scripts, and there was enough of us to each of us have a part and to have narrators and stuff like that. And we've had, even some of our clients come in and play those parts as well.
Despite our first year being, from a technology standpoint, as my memory serves, was it's growing pains, right? We were just trying to get this thing to work.
It was just like trial and error because not having.
Well, it would have helped if you would have told the engineer that we were doing it, which you did not do until after the fact.
That was the most fun that I had with them. That first year was so fun.
I don't even think I knew that we had an engineer.
The station launched in March of 2009, right? And he came to me in maybe November.
No, it was
October. I don't know. It was. We didn't plan very much.
It was Sunday. No, we did not plan because we didn't know what it was.
Right. So we said,
other than black and white pictures in my head,
which is how most things start around here.
Yes.
But I think we started it, and it did come off well. If you were here, I don't think many people could hear it because the engineer flipped out because apparently it was a little distorted going out.
Right.
Because
I don't think a lot of people understood what it was either,
including us.
Yes.
But it took off. Like
here
it was
we are,
something
Sweet
that
16.
Yeah.
16 years later, and I can't say that it's gotten any better. But
It's
we
the
have a
same.
lot of fun, and it's for a great cause. Those are two great things that.
Well, you don't realize how much. So I mean, nobody that runs, that isn't in a radio station realizes how nice automation is and computers and everything. But back in the black and white days, like everything was like a live TV set because everything had to be timed out and everything had to be done and there had to be a plan and there had to be scripts and all stuff that we don't do on a regular basis because we don't have to.
More like a theater production than it is a radio show or even TV because it was live.
Right.
So it was like a live play in real time going on, and again, you have to have everything timed out perfectly as well.
Which we didn't do great. Every year, the most fun part was trying to figure out if we had to fill or we were about to get cut off. Because we had a hard stop at 7
Close it in,
p.m. So stretching.
Well,
I remember one year I think we clapped for a minute and a half straight because we ran out of things to
hands
say.
were all chapped at the end.
Yeah, it was like at the end. But it's all going to a good cause, and we've had different charities through the years, but Girls Inc. Of Washington County has stepped up and been our charity recipient graciously for the last several years. And they're a great organization, and it's been nice to have them because they've come every year and been a part of it.
Right.
They actually talk during the show.
Ask you both this: how's money raised? Someone who's just catching this for the first time, hearing about this, no matter what the audience is, how's money raised from this? I know that there used to be several different facets. I think there still are. So take us through. Crazy Bob, let's start with you. How can people participate? How can they cause you guys to raise money for Girls Inc.?
How they can help?
Yeah.
Well, just donations. You can just drop off cash if you wish, or but what we ask is local businesses can drop off gift cards to their business if you have a muffler shop and you want to give away a brake job or a couple of oil changes, or if you're a bakery and you want to give away some gift cards that throughout the year. If you're a pizza shop, you can say, hey, you know what, this is a certificate that'll give you one free pizza a month for 1 year, kind of a thing. Anything helps because it's
Crazy Bob's really hitting on the things that he wants.
Yeah.
You noticed that.
Yeah,
right?
he has a list. And basically, that's his wish list.
If there's a Mexican restaurant out there that wants to give away
tacos for life.
If there's a butcher out there who wants to give away, but whatever your business is, whether it's shoes or maybe you're a painter, et cetera, any little bit helps. And also, you could be a sponsor. You could be a title sponsor. You could be a sponsor of any of the things that we do. Some of the things we do there are the skits. You could sponsor a skit. You could sponsor, any of the musical acts that we're going to have. So far, we've got 3. We might add 1 more, but anything like that.
What are song bids? Tell me about song bids.
Song bids. Well, normally what it is we'll have. We try to do everything as live as possible, but we'll sometimes use songs to film. So we'll say, hey, make a donation, give us a song, and we'll try to play that for you, especially if you donated a whole lot more than everybody else. We'll go out and try to find that song and play it during the spectacular. This year we decided to do it a little bit different. You could still request a song, but we have a list of about 30 Christmas songs. And Bob Rocks has, since its inception, had a running, what's the word I'm looking for?
Standard policy?
A standard policy of no bad Christmas music. And so we want to keep that going, but it's up to people to make a donation. A $5 donation will X one of the songs off the list.
Gotcha.
And they can request what gets put in its place. And that you can go to 1015bobrocks.com to make that suggestion and make the donation.
And I think everyone's favorite part when it comes to how they can help to raise money is by purchasing some silent auction items.
Sure.
That you guys have. And boy, does it run the gamut of available items. I know you guys have a list in front of you, so let's start hitting some of these. Where can they bid? How can they bid? When can they bid?
So there's going to be a Facebook event that will go live next Wednesday for the Christmas Spectacular, and it'll be posted up on the Bob Rocks Facebook page, and it'll also be shared out on the GOATS Facebook page from this station. And you can go on and you can make comments, and if you see an item that you want, you can put a comment under there to bid for an auction item. All of these auction items were donated to us, and 100% of the bids go straight to the charity. So Girls Inc. of Washington County gets 100% of the auction item dollars that are raised. We have some of the highlights here, but there's always more that get added all the way up to the day of the show sometimes. Yes. Sometimes people come in and live offer things as well.
Yes.
But we have tickets to concerts, Metallica, Disturbed, AC/DC, major shows next year that people can bid on. The Marion Lottery always is really gracious and donates a wreath or a Christmas tree.
The lottery Christmas
so
tree
they
is
make
one of the greatest things ever.
They make a Christmas tree out of lottery tickets or a Christmas wreath out of lottery tickets, and they all are valid lottery tickets, and you can peel them apart and scratch them off. So they have a $100 wreath that they're contributing. Simple Pleasures, which is a client of ours that's been on the show, has donated a gift card. Bell Jewelers in Chambersburg has donated a necklace. So if you need a last-minute gift for a woman in your life, or a fashionable man, I guess, that wants to wear a necklace.
Metro?
Yeah, I mean, is that still a term? I don't know. 2-night stay at the Red Roof Inn nationally, any one of the locations. We've got a free pool opening from Pool Pals, so you next spring can get your pool open for free. We've got candles. We've got tons of stuff. And we'll come up with more. There'll be gift cards. There'll be all kinds of things that people can donate to receive. And it's the last week before Christmas, So great time to be able to get that. The auction will close on Friday during the show at 4:30. So you just want to keep an eye on your bids. If you see you get outbid, you can go back in and comment again to get another bid in. But Friday at 4:30, those will close, and then you'll be notified if you're the winning bidder, and you'll be able to pick it up on Monday or Tuesday before Christmas. So you have your Christmas presents, and it all goes to good cause. I mean, they're all going to end up going, starting bids on everything are well below retail value, so you have an opportunity to save some money on a Christmas present, but also make it for a great cause, because Girls Inc. is a great charity, and Maureen over there is always excited to be a part of this. She drug her husband to it last year. They come in and make some comments about where their money goes and what's happening, and she always sends her fundraiser person, and then she brought her husband last year, and he thought they were going on a date for dinner, and she made him come with her here, and he was like, "Why are we here?" And she's like, "We're just making a quick stop," and she was here for like 2 hours. So
she owes him.
she does, but he's a good sport. But it's a great cause, and so if you're a business and you want to donate to something at the end of the year that really goes back to the local community, a gift card is great. A service that you can offer that'll go back to a local person that is donating is great, because again, 100% of what comes out of this goes straight to Girls Inc., which is a great charity, which we should probably mention. So what they do is it's an after-school program for girls.
On the program, yeah.
Okay, great. So they're an after-school program for school-age girls in Washington County and Hagerstown. They do after-school transportation. They do hot meals for kids after school. They have a summer camp that they do, so that way they have somewhere to go, and they can get tutoring. They get help with their educational needs. They help them with mentoring, confidence, self-confidence. It's really a great opportunity to help support the community in a way that helps the next generation.
And we'll have representatives
go for it
here that day.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
You can look them up. They have a Facebook page and a website, Girls Inc. of Washington County, I believe. Just look it up and you'll find it out there. They do great work right here in the community.
Yeah.
Like said.
So Crazy, let's do the date, how people can listen, how they can watch, because I know they can do that.
Friday, December 20th, next Friday from 2 to 7. We're going to go as live as we can possible. It's going to be on 101.5, Bob Rocks. And also, it will be streaming on our Facebook page. Knock on wood.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Because we're relying on
technology. But it should be streaming on our Facebook page for the majority of the time until it gets killed.
We need to get to is Welsh, Jamie Welsh.
Welsh Sound. Jamie Welsh with Welsh Sound has been doing this for 15 years.
So the first year, we had trouble with the audio, as we mentioned. We did not tell our engineer that we were doing it, and Chris, back in the day, was very confused. But Jamie stepped up and volunteered. I don't even know. He found us, I think.
Yeah, I believe he did.
And he reached out. He said, "Hey, this is a really cool thing you guys are doing. We want to be a part of it." They're out of Carneysville, West Virginia. They provide sound services for live entertainment, churches, organizations, professional settings, seminars. So if you're interested in sound for an event or something like that for the local company that really cares, these guys are top notch. They make us sound way better than we are.
Yeah. And they come in and they set it up like this. Well, they've been here long enough that they
know
pretty much do it half asleep with their eyes closed. And
they know the lay of the land, and they have sound classes that we're going to start promoting as well. You can go on Eventbrite now, and if you're interested in getting into sound as an engineering side or learning how it works, or you just want to have another skill set that maybe you use in your own business, they're doing a Sound 101 class in January right there in Carneysville on a Saturday. It's a one-day class. Really easy entry-level cost to be able to get into it, and they're doing training in January. So check out eventbrite.com and search Welsh Sound, WELSH, and they will get you hooked up, and you can do some training, and it'll be a really good opportunity to get more involved. But Jamie's been amazing, very helpful.
Also see that in a big way, Cody's Auto Body has stepped up for this.
Yep, Cody's Auto Body is the title sponsor this year. So he is donating money directly to Girls Inc. as part of this process, which is great. He's out of Martinsburg, West Virginia, but being a part of the Bob Rocks family and being a major advertiser for us and always wanting to do more in the community.
He's also been a really good supporter of ours as well. And we couldn't, having a client who supports us like he does, that's not easy to find. So
Yeah.
really thankful for
I
him.
still hold it against him because he gets too involved. Last year, I had to get into icy water because he pledged to hit the goal for
that's right,
a
yeah.
different charity we run, and I had to jump into a lake again after I thought I had set the bar so high that I didn't have to. But he donates to things that maybe I'm not saying he doesn't care about them, but whatever the charity is, he's willing to donate if it causes me pain. So
He does
that
enjoy
was
his petty tournaments.
he does do that. But he's a good guy. He's very great for the community, local business owner. So Cody's Auto Body on Wilson Street in Martinsburg is the sponsor of the show this year, and I'm sure he'll be up sharing pontifications on life at some point during that show. But he's a great time. So
Well, the Spectacular gets the Sweet 16 celebration this year, 2 until 7 on December 20th, 1015 on your FM dial, 1015bobrocks.com Facebook page. It'll be live streamed, tons of stuff. You can start bidding. What did you say start bidding on?
Next Wednesday. Wednesday the 18th. Wednesday the 18th.
All right, so go on the website, 1015bobrocks.com, and we can do hopefully a wrap-up when this is all over, and we'll get back and talk about it, how much money was raised.
We'll get Maureen in here. She can talk all about it. She gets very excited. Yes, we'll give you We'll give you all the highlights. It'll be great.
And then finally, when it's over, Blake and Crazy Bob can take a nap and rest it off.
It means it's Christmas time.
Yes.
That's the way we know that Christmas is here. The day we get done with that at 7 p.m.
Well, you know what? Just if you got a minute, it started as the day before Christmas Spectacular. And it was always on the 23rd for the first few years, because by the 23rd, business kind of slows down. And it's like there's not a lot going on. We're like, that's when we can do it. That's when we can do the whole big live shebang, because there's not as much craziness going on. And so
the world's gotten busier, and we keep doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So the 23rd is no longer
add to the crazy. So.
or the 20th or whatever.
Christmas Eve here is insane.
So we just try to do it on a Friday, so we have 2 days to recover.
Yes.
At this point.
Well, we sure hope you'll join us, and thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tristate.
Let's talk Tristate.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.
News is all powered by Veritas Men's Health in Hagerstown. They do have telehealth available. You can find them online at veritasmenshealth.com. Now, as winter approaches, because the 21st is officially the first day of winter, the National Weather Service is encouraging residents to prepare for the season's challenges during Maryland Winter Safety Awareness Week that runs the 10th through the 16th. Among topics covered are protecting pets, pipes and plants, so all the P's there, understanding weather alerts, and preparing emergency kits for home and car.
So prepare the pets, pipes, and plants.
Prepare the pets, pipes, and plants. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
And protect them.
Protect
and prepare the pipes, and plants.
Pets, and the Peter Piper and the pickle peppers.
I know one thing I always have on hand is a jug of water. I always have a jug of water somewhere stashed in my house in case something happens. That's as far as I've gotten in my emergency kits.
Well, we have
and flashlights.
5-gallon buckets, and I usually have 2 of those at any given time, just in the basement, just in case. You never know.
Right.
And blankets. We don't actually need to prepare blankets because Mary
You have so many
is
soft
a
blankets.
blanket hog.
I know.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And not that this will ever save our lives, but she's prepared until rapture with mugs, coffee mugs.
Oh, I think I am too.
Oh, I think every woman, it's a requisite that you have coffee mugs and blankets.
I think it's because it is the easiest gift to give somebody. Mugs, I can definitely live without, but part of that is
Except
because
for this one.
I do. This is my favorite one. But part of that is because when I was a teacher, that's what the kids gave you all the time for Christmas presents.
Right.
Mug after mug after mug. And I really wanted to keep all of them, but
What are you going to do?
And the only mug I ever use is this. I don't use coffee mugs. I use this guy because I'm always on the go. But blankets, you can never turn down a nice, soft, warm blanket. They're always a good gift to give somebody.
Yeah, I got you. Well, the Greencastle Police Department, this is an incredible story. And wow, how someone does this, I don't understand. The Greencastle PD has filed embezzlement charges against Krista Muir, 55, of Greencastle, the former treasurer of Moss Spring Pool, after a detailed investigation into allegations of financial misconduct. Police allege that over a 7-year period, Ms. Muir embezzled nearly $150,000 in public funds.
Whoa.
That's, I would be, well, first of all, I wouldn't do it.
Right.
But I would just be so scared to even, like, if I were at a yard sale and we were selling some of your items with ours, and someone, gave me $1 for one of your items and put it in my pocket, and I realized, oh, I didn't give you your $1, I'd be like, make every attempt. I got to get this back to her as soon as possible, let alone all this money.
I
My
know.
goodness, I can't imagine.
I'm the same way. That is a crazy story.
It is.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State. Our next guest today, we have Stacy Hurst, and she is from the BCA. Thank you, first of all, for being here and making time for Let's Talk Tri-State.
Sure.
And thanks for what you do in the community. It's really important work, and I'm just going to let you start by laying the foundation of what is the BCA.
Okay, sure. Well, I appreciate you having me on here today. So BCA is an acronym for Breast Cancer Awareness. We used to be Breast Cancer Awareness Cumberland Valley. Our organization was started 35 years ago when a local lady was diagnosed and she really didn't have any place to turn. So her girlfriends rallied, and it started with them giving literature out of the trunk of their car outside of a local breast surgeon's office. And it has grown to a staff of 4+ and 150+ volunteers, and we are serving 7 counties in the Tri-State. So
What counties?
we serve Franklin and Fulton County, Pennsylvania, Berkeley, Morgan, and Jefferson County in West Virginia, and we service Washington and Frederick County in Maryland.
So you guys are not just, PA, you're multi-state. You're
Yes.
you're all over the place.
We are.
Wow. And what kind of services do you provide?
So there's 3 different sides to what we do. We offer free mammograms and ultrasounds to any individual that's uninsured. So the criteria is to live in one of our 7 counties and not have insurance, and we can take care of their imaging. And then if a patient is diagnosed with breast cancer, that's the bulk of what we do. So we meet, like you and I are sitting here one-on-one, chat about the diagnosis. There's often a lot of fears and questions, and we kind of walk them through what to expect. We give them an educational handbook, some comfort items for recovering. We fit them for a post-surgical bra. And then we also provide things for their spouse or caretaker and their kids. So one of the new things that you guys have helped us do is to expand our For Our Kids program. So every patient that we have that has children under 12 gets a family fun box shipped to the house in the kid's name. And it has family fun activities that are safer at home. And there's a note with an emoji balloon that floats up out of the box when they open it, with a gift card to get pizza. And it's a stressful time.
I would assume that a disease like this, breast cancer, it's a family thing. It affects the whole family. And it's when you have young kids involved, or kids of any age, it's hard. It's hard on the whole family. So that's really nice that you think about the whole unit altogether.
Yeah. We've seen a lot more younger patients come through, which has shifted the focus a little bit. And we had a young mom. She said she was so sick from treatment, and she was laying on the couch, and she's just upset because you can't go and do, and her kids are little, they were toddlers. And when she took a picture when they opened their box, and she said, it just made my whole day. And the photo is worth a million words of why we do what we do. And then the third side of what we do is we offer a full service wig boutique to any cancer patient. So liver, lung, it doesn't matter what type of cancer. They can come and shop over 100 new wigs, and they try them on. We do a one-on-one fitting. They get head coverings to wear when they're not wearing their wig. And then if they have young children, again, we're seeing a lot more younger folks, we give them what's called a Brave Barbie. And we have a Caucasian and an African-American version, and they're bald. And they come with a fun wig and then hair that looks like yours and mine.
Now, are the wigs that you have, are they human hair?
We used to do a lot of human hair, but that's kind of not the thing. There's a lot of trying to find someone to source them that's not charging the donor a lot of money or the patient a lot of money has been a bit of a burden, a hindrance to us.
What's the price range of the wigs?
They go all the way from, if the wigs that we carry are between $200 and $300.
Well, yeah.
You can go much higher than
sure.
that with custom. but we carry synthetic wigs, so they are, some of them they get better all the time. So you can use heat on them, like if you want to use a curling iron or rollers.
Okay.
But we give them a care kit, so they get wig shampoo and conditioner and a little stand to put it on. And
so it's like they're doing their hair.
Yes.
You know, it's still feeling connected to, I mean, that's what, when I think of being a woman, that's one of the big things, my hair, doing my hair.
Right.
And so that's nice that they can still style it how they want to.
Right.
With the curling iron and whatnot. I want to circle back a little bit to the mammograms. So those mammograms are free for uninsured residents in the counties that you listed prior. Do mammograms start at 40?
So,
or can they start earlier?
They can start earlier. So that's the other thing that I would like to clarify. Sometimes if you have family history, you are encouraged to get them younger, and your doctor may encourage you to get them younger. Insurance companies sometimes fight it. If you are in a fight, you come see us because we will pay for it. We don't want anyone to, my mom's an 11-year survivor, and it was caught early, and had she not had imaging when she did, actually had she not had a scare at 40, they really monitored her pretty closely after that. I mean, it's a totally different game when you've got stage 0 or 1 versus even a couple months to a year. It can change the game drastically.
And my cousin is a breast cancer survivor, and when she caught hers, she felt a lump, went to the doctor. She was in her 40s. I think she'd already had a mammogram a couple of years prior, and it was like on the cusp of 2 to 3. I mean, it was really, really close. So we were very, she had to go through all of the chemo and all of the I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And it took months, but she had a really good attitude about it. When she lost her hair, we went wig shopping, and we had fun with it. I mean, I know that it was devastating on her, but we tried really hard to have fun with it. We would have parties with the wigs. But I remember when we were in the hospital, I went with her for a lot of her chemo treatments. We would get these boxes from different organizations that had knitted blankets and different kinds of literature to read and something to make you smile. And first of all, I just thought, how is this free, for starters? And what a wonderful way to just spread a little joy to somebody who is just terrified, absolutely terrified at that moment. So you don't have to be 40, just to clarify that, if there's some family history. And do you do the mammograms then at BCA?
We don't do them there, so we refer them to they just need to go to an imaging facility that's located in one of our 7 counties. So there are several options. And their doctor fills out a waiver, and then they present a pink card that their doctor gives them that basically says send the bill to BCA, and then we pay for it. And I do want to stress it's men and women. So we have had men that we've paid for imaging for because they felt something, which is also becoming more and more common. Still not as common as women, but we're seeing it more. And then I did want to say one more thing when you were talking about like support. We have an angel program where every newly diagnosed patient has an option to get paired with an angel, and that person sends them cards and little gifts every 1 to 2 weeks the entire time they're in treatment, just a little pick-me-up. And then they're also given a gratitude journal with the thought. We had a very dear friend of mine and board member pass away. He was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer when we were 36. So he passed in 2020. He was given 12 to 18 months, but he had such a positive attitude, and he was rare from the time I met him when we were 11. He lit up a room then. There's just something about him, but I asked him one day, I said, how do you do this? Because you show up and you're working for BCA and like fundraising, and he said, some days I don't know how I'm going to get up, but then I find one good thing and I lean into it and I make it a good day.
It really is incredible how much of a difference that makes. I have a gratitude journal as well, and I really try hard to put at least something in there every day, and I forget. And then once in a while, a month or two will go by and I find it, and then when I'm even reading back, I just think, wow, I am a really lucky person. And when you write it down and read it, it really is empowering.
Yeah.
How do the patients find you? Are they diagnosed with breast cancer, and then the doctor will say, here's BCA, they're great, they'll help you within your journey?
Yeah, it's really great. We have great relationships with the physicians, oncology and breast surgeons in the area, and even family practice. So they will send them our way, give them our card. We have we keep packets in their office that they can hand patients. And then sometimes they find us because their child has done a pink night at a high school and they remember seeing us, and now all of a sudden, it's what was pink socks 2 years ago is now like someone that can help me, and I don't know what to do.
Empowering.
Yeah.
And helpful.
So yeah, that, and then we do a lot of word of mouth and advertising, and just trying to make sure that no one faces it alone. That's our whole motto.
And you have a couple events coming up. I know you have. I have to ask you, do you voice the commercials?
Yes.
Okay. I thought, as I've been sitting here listening to you, I thought, oh gosh, her voice sounds familiar. Yeah,
That's
that
fine.
makes sense now.
Yeah.
You have a lovely voice. You
Thank
sound
you.
great on your commercials.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's talk about the Step and Stride. Is that the next event that's happening?
We just had it.
Oh, you just
we
had
just
it.
had it, but
Okay.
I can talk about it because
Please.
it is one of my favorite events. It is our Survivor and Fighter celebration. It's a walk, and we started something new in 2020. We do a Survivor car parade. So current fighters who can't do the walk because it's strenuous and they're just not feeling up to it, they deck their cars out. And I mean, they're decorated with pink balloons, years of survivorship. And we have music going and an announcer. And as they crest the hill at Hagerstown Community College, they're getting announced like, here's Jen celebrating 5 years. And the community is lining the sidewalks with pom-poms. It's amazing.
Stacey, I think I was there last year. Do you have vendors out in the parking lot?
We do.
Did you have Bob Rocks out there?
We
that with
did.
T-shirts. Yep.
Mhm,
I was
we
there
did.
representing our sister station, and I
Yeah.
remember I bought, because it was freezing that day. It was last year in October. It was the end of October, and I bought a sweatshirt. So yes, now that you're saying that, it
Yeah.
was amazing,
It
and I
is.
remember the cars and the tears
Yeah.
and the camaraderie and the encouragement. It was you could feel it. You could definitely feel the impact that event made. And does a lot of your funding come from that particular event?
So it comes from a sponsorship at the event.
right.
A lot of businesses. Walkers pay to walk, and people will donate in honor of somebody fighting or in memory of someone that we've lost. But a lot of businesses come and rally around and will sponsor that event, and it's our largest fundraiser of the year.
Great.
So,
It's a great event.
Yeah.
And the vendors were impressive.
Yeah.
I really took a long time to meander around, and I was very impressed with the event. And tell me about Hangerfest.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one.
Oh, well, you should know about this. So we're crazy over at BCA. We do events back to back. So we have Hangerfest in September, and then 3 weeks later we have Step and Stride. But Hangerfest is a unique event. It's at Ryder Jet Center in the hangar. We have food trucks out in the parking lot. They shut down the runway. Nothing after 1 p.m. so that we can get set up. But usually there's an opening band, and then the main stage band is at 7:30, and it's the Reaganiers.
Oh, I love the Reagan
They
years.
bring a crowd.
They are
They.
so. I saw them in Leesburg, Virginia.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
They're super fun, and the cause is close to their heart. So, and that event brings in anywhere between 14 and 1,600 people.
Wow, I'm sure. I mean, they draw a huge, and that's what a cool venue.
It is. It's a unique experience.
How long is that?
Oh
particular
my,
event?
that's been going on for about 25 years, but
Okay.
it has definitely evolved. When it started, it was not, the Reaganiers were not there. The Reaganiers and BCA were not involved initially. It was another nonprofit that kind of threw the idea out there, but then they wanted to partner with a larger organization that had more presence. So we came along, and then the Reaganiers came on board, and it just kind of took off. And then the other nonprofit, they have went in a different direction. So they said, if you want it, it's yours. So
You guys couldn't jump on it fast enough.
it takes
That's
a
great.
force. We have like 58 volunteers that night to make that happen. But it's a great night. This year we had 5 stage 4 fighters that were diagnosed under the age of 40 come from as far as North Dakota to come to the event. They'd heard about it. They wanted to be like, and it was a celebration. And the Reaganiers, they did selfies with the girls and just really spent some time with them. But it's just it's a great community event, and it's a lot of fun.
How long have you had the Reagan years for that event?
It's been over 15.
That's amazing. That's so. That what a legendary event, and every year just gets bigger and bigger, and word of mouth and food. I mean, for food trucks, you can't go wrong.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
And so you had that in September, and then the Step and Stride in October. Working on anything for the winter, or is that kind of a take a break time?
Yeah, we do an annual giving mailer. A lot of people are looking at the end of the year to do their one last charitable contribution. So we send out a recap of our year of how many families we've served and how they can get involved in different levels, because no gift is too small. They all add up. And so we do that now, and then we'll be prepping for our golf tournament in May.
Nice. And I'm sure that takes a lot of prep work
Oh,
as,
yes.
as well. How many families have you served?
Over 154.
Wow, amazing. I bet you're the executive director. I bet you get so many letters and pictures and things that warm your heart pretty regularly.
Yeah, I was in banking prior to coming to BCA 6 years ago, and I love people. So I loved my job. I've never worked harder, but I've also never had like the personal fulfillment. People are so appreciative.
Sure.
And you're intersecting their life at a time where they just need hope, they need some help, and we get to be like the warm face on the other side of the door, and I love what we do.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for what you do. And before we wrap up here, if somebody wanted to donate, or if somebody wanted to get some more information on services, how do they find you?
So we just redid our website, so you can find everything you need at bcainc.org, and there is a landing page for patients. So if you were just diagnosed and you get in your portal and it's Friday at 4, you can click on that. It gives you next steps. You'll hear some testimonials that you guys actually helped us record of patients that have been through the program, an instant feeling that you're not alone. And then if you want to donate, there's a donate tab, and it will also show you for each dollar amount what you would be helping a patient with. So if you would like to know, that's on bcainc.org.
So you can see exactly where your money's going and how it's helping the community.
It all stays in the counties we serve.
That's great. Well, Stacy, thank you so much.
You're
we really
welcome.
appreciate what you do, and hopefully when we get closer to the golf tournament, love to have you back on, promote that, and talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at news and sports, and it's all powered by the DRB Group, the right partner for your real estate development.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.